What up? Welcome to another episode of the Back of the Class podcast. Right now it's just me and my man Zach.
Hello.
And we are your hosts. I am the Esteban Serrano, by the way. This is Zach Dion. And Juan is getting a tan on vacation.
He's gone again.
He's gone again, you know. But, they keep us busy around here. And then when we're not busy, we should be vacationing it up. Yeah. But we have a dope episode of the Back of the Class for you guys today. We have to talk about the news that broke at the OVO Fest of Kanye West and Drake potential album together.
Yeah.
That, we got to talk about that. Of course, Apple versus Tidal beef is very prominent right now. We're going to talk about that. With that comes a lot of news about Apple exclusives. We're going to get into some of those. Nas has an album completed. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that. And then in the Flex Zone, we'll get into some TV things. There's a lot of hip-hop television stuff going on, so we definitely want to talk about that. But first and foremost, I want to give a shout-out to Queens. They are changing the name, or co-naming, rather, Linden Boulevard at 192nd. They're going to name it Malik Fife Dog Taylor Way. Yeah. In honor of A Tribe Called Quest.
That's right. You got the birth name and the rap name.
Yeah. Both. All in there together, man. So I thought that was an amazing hip-hop moment.
Yeah. Turned it around quick, too.
Yeah. Absolutely. So now let's get into this podcast. All right, so Kanye West on stage at the OVO Fest alongside Drake.
Mm-hmm. Put Drake in a corner.
Basically. It was like, are we doing this?
Yeah.
Are we going to do this or what?
Mm-hmm.
And he's referring to this Drake-Kanye album. Mm-hmm. And the crowd really didn't understand what was going on, I don't think, right?
I don't know.
I don't think they really got it, because I think later on Drake clarified. He's talking about a joint album, by the way. Would y'all want that or something to that effect?
Translate.
I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Zach?
Well, he talked about it a year ago, like when he had a couple songs out, supposedly building up to the album, which didn't come for another year. But he said the song Wolves was going to be the name of an album between him and Drake.
Right.
And Drake never said anything about it. So it kind of seemed like Kanye was saying, if only Drake would do this with me, we would do it.
And Kanye has mentioned before, I remember when at the height, or maybe at the tail end of the Nas Jay-Z beef, he was like, I'll produce the entire album if Nas and Jay-Z did an album together. So he's always kind of trying to throw his name in certain hats and, try to make certain collabs happen. So
that's weird, because you don't usually think of Kanye as somebody who's like trying to twist somebody's arm to do something.
Exactly.
Unless it's like IKEA or anybody who's not.
Who finally got back to him. IKEA tweeted Kanye back.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a thing that I want. It's definitely something I can't picture what it would sound like at all. I mean, I would love to see it out of just like spectator sport, just to see.
Right.
But I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, here's my thing. So I'm kind of over these whole joint album situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember back in the day, there was supposed to be a Rick Ross Drake album.
Yeah.
Never happened. Now we have this. Now we have the Drake Future album that no one really wanted, but that came out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now it's supposed to be a mixtape with Drake and Gucci Mane, like a whole mixtape or album or something. It's like, I mean, for me, when I think of, first of all, I can't think of a collaboration where Kanye and Drake are on the same record. I don't know if one exists, or I just don't know if it wasn't that memorable a moment for me to want to remember it, other than the name this record featuring The Throne, and then it's them two on, what's that, Pop Style?
Well, off Forever, too.
Yeah, but everybody was on that record.
That's not a Kanye. And then Blessings, the one that includes Kanye at the end. There's one that doesn't and one that does. But
there's no magical moment.
You
where
have
you're
no
like,
sense even of what a collaboration. Yeah, because even those 3 songs you don't.
You don't know what it would.
Pop
it would
style,
be like.
they are on the same vibe a bit, but
Mhm.
it's kind of like a throwaway song, like we've talked about.
Exactly.
It's a good or okay song, but yeah.
And then I'm wondering what energy are we going to get? Because you never know what you're going to get with Kanye, and you never know what you're going to get with Drake. So what the heck are they going to do?
Well, you know with Kanye that it's going to be something on the fringe of anything popular. You know, it's the overall thing of the project will be something completely different pretty much than anything going on. So that's not really kind of Drake. Yeah, his sound has definitely been inventive, but they don't seem like they're speaking the same language at all.
Yeah, man. And then I think like, okay, well, what is it going to sound like? We don't know. Subject matter, why I feel like this is like a mangina monologue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is like these are like the most emotional, especially, on recorded, audio.
Yeah.
These dudes are, speak their minds, but most of the time what's on their mind is some super personal, emotional stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to hear that between the two of them.
Yeah.
I don't mind it from a Drake by himself, from a Kanye by himself. But if you get these two crying in a room together, I don't really think I want to hear what's going to come of it.
Would you want to hear that J. Cole and Kendrick one that's been talked about before?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's another one I can't picture what it would sound like at all, but that would be amazing.
But I mean, here's another thing with that one, right? So Kendrick, top of his game. J. Cole, top of his game. They're both now at this point in their career. When they started talking about it early on, they were still developmental, both of them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now they're well established in their career. Mm-hmm. They're the two probably most successful in terms of people buying their album.
Yeah.
Most successful rappers in the game when it comes to physically people going out and supporting them. I mean, and I think that they can jive well together. Yeah. I would love to see Cole kind of dance in the Kendrick world, and I would love to see Kendrick kind of touch on some of the Cole, topics and jump in his lane a bit.
Yeah.
I think that would work. One of my favorite albums that never happened was Country Cousins, which was Big Crit and Yellow Wolf.
Oh.
I would have loved to hear
the
Country Cousin album. That's never going to happen.
Yeah,
there's so many other albums
Yellow
I would
Wolf
rather.
really vanished.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was really promising, man.
Yeah.
I really like that guy.
I've still been listening to the Big Crit 12 for 12 thing too, by the way. Yeah.
So, I mean, all in all, if and when this Kanye Drake thing happens, it'll be a moment because it's the two biggest people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really think I care, to be honest.
Yeah. I wouldn't have high hopes that either that it will happen or that it will be something that I like. But I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't undersell them, but I don't think we're even gonna see. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because another reason why, and this kind of leads us into our next topic, is that Kanye is Team Tidal,
mm-hmm.
and Drake is Team Apple.
Yeah.
And those two companies have been beefing, and I don't really know if you can beef. Like, the only companies I know that kind of beef all the time is like maybe like a T-Mobile and Sprint. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of like, well, T-Mobile says you can do this, and then Sprint says they have the best coverage. But it's like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, so try to provide some context as to how and or why Apple Music and Tidal are beefing.
Just because they're both in the exclusives games. They're both in the exclusive game, and they're both in like having artists play for their team publicly. That was, Jay pioneered that with Tidal because Apple Music wasn't out yet. That was like spring of 2015, and he was like, all these artists stand by this thing, and they're going to put music out on it. They believe in it. They want an alternative to Spotify. And then Apple Music came out and is like, all right, we're going to sign all these famous people to give them radio shows and put out their music. So, yeah, now, like you said, Drake has to be one or the other. And it's weird when you get somebody like DJ Khaled who's, like, signed with Jay-Z, but he has the deal with Apple Music. It's like, yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't see much public stuff back and forth between them, though. I see people commentating, like Kanye last weekend,
right,
being like, "This has gone far enough."
Right, but we don't know what
every
has
billionaire
gone
get
far
on
enough.
the phone with me.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I think it was about Frank Ocean. I think he
But what
found
about?
out. I think he found out that Frank Ocean's album will be on Apple Music, and he was pissed.
Did he find out later than everyone else?
No, because that was last weekend that Kanye was saying that stuff. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Wow. So he's pissed that he can't. Come on, let's be real, Zach. You and I, just me and you.
That he wants.
Kanye has an Apple Music subscription.
Yeah, well, he can afford it.
I'm sure
he has to listen to his Taylor Swift somewhere. He's not going to buy it.
Ouch. Too soon. Too soon. Kanye is not listening to Taylor Swift. But I mean, like, I don't know, man. I hate, and I don't know if it's the media. I hate to use that word, being that we are a part of that, world.
Hey, it's all right.
This is kind of reminiscent, and I'm laughing as I say this, of the East Coast West Coast beef that really never really existed, but media pumped it so much that everyone started to choose a side and really, whatever. But like, because you said like the companies aren't really talking about anything. Like it's really just the consumers and the media that's like, and the artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. I just get a bad vibe off Apple Music. They want to like own your entire music experience.
Right. They want to monopolize.
Yeah, they just want it. They just know you're using iTunes. They know you're syncing your phone, and they want to just get it all in one place and kind of coerce you in there, I think. And it's not like, it sucks. Like every time I want to look for some music of mine on iTunes now, I can barely search it. I have to like be very careful with how and when I type something in, what I click, if it's because it's automatically going to try to search through Apple Music.
Right, first.
And it's, I don't know.
Yeah, when I had Apple Music, what I would do was I would turn my phone in airplane mode and then play the records.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do tricks like that. Yeah.
I shouldn't have to life hack my Apple Music.
And Apple Music has like a very, maybe not very cool, but definitely cool reputation, and Tidal people still like to shit on.
Right.
So I don't like that aspect of it either, and that's like,
at all.
That's the media, and that's also just your everyday person, So, but hey, they have the Frank Ocean, they have the 2 Chainz, all this stuff we're about to talk about today. Britney Spears just announced, we're talking on Wednesday, she announced she's going to put out her album at the end of the month on Apple Music. So if they keep getting people, then maybe the other services won't. I think Tidal will be fine regardless until somebody buys it. I think so too. But
I feel like, and this is kind of where I think the two can kind of coexist. I feel like Tidal speaks more to a specific listener.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I hate to label them because it's a lot more than just the urban ear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Tidal all the time. I see that they're really beefing up the Latin music. They got actually a lot of country, a lot of rock stuff on there. It's been very rare that I've looked for. Actually, I don't even think it's happened when I've looked for an album, be it like the Mars Volta or the Killers or John Mayer or something that I listen to that's not hip hop and it's not on Tidal. Like,
right.
They've got everything.
Yeah.
But like I feel like they really own a certain lane, and where they're kind of winning is kind of taking the Live Nation, which they're a derivative from Rock Nation, is from Live Nation model, where they own all the venues. So, you got to come see they're booking their talent in their venue kind of the same way. Whereas, like Made in America's coming up, you're going to be able to watch that on Tidal. They had, the other music festivals they were playing is on Tidal. So J. Cole concert stream on Tidal, Lil Wayne on Tidal. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like if you're fans of a certain zone, certain scene, certain vibe or whatever, then one is definitely more for you than the other. I feel like Apple kind of changed the game when they introduced the radio show.
Yeah.
Although I think aside from like Pharrell, not many people are really involved in their show. Like,
right.
I don't think Drake's on every episode of OVO. I don't think he's been on more than 3.
Yeah, not too many.
You know what I mean? So like, that's neither here nor there. But I did think it was interesting, kind of, again, leading into our next topic of conversation, that the 2 Chainz mixtape is an Apple exclusive. Like, I thought Tidal was winning when they put mixtapes on their streaming platform.
They do have some mixtapes on there, but yeah.
But now Apple is doing it, man.
Yeah. The only time Tidal premiered a mixtape was Designer, I think.
Yeah.
But
I think they had Future. They had a couple Future tapes. They didn't
They've
premiere
had
it,
them,
but
yeah.
they had them on the
But
catalog.
yeah, this is definitely not the first time Apple has premiered a mixtape. They keep getting mixtapes, and which keeps obscuring the definition of mixtape more and more.
When it's all original music and it's all, it's in album form.
Only available in this one place for the first few weeks. Like, I don't care what you put on there, how you do it, but part of it is it being free usually.
Oh, yeah.
And free is not the same as having a subscription to something.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, let's talk about this 2 Chainz Danielson, the Necklace Don.
I feel like it's more like Daniel Song, so he got the rhyme.
Daniel Song, the Necklace Don.
I guess. I don't know what I never know what he's doing.
Ever, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, in my experience of 2 Chainz, the mixtapes are always amazing.
Yeah, he's
amazing.
He's been really consistent all year. I'm excited to hear
Super consistent with it, man. So I'm excited, especially like seeing the cover art. I don't know if you caught it, but it's like this animated young 2 Chainz with the Danielson headband with the or the sun rising thing.
Yeah.
And necklaced out, looking like Mr. T.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm interested to hear what the heck Danielson.
What if he brings some Kung Fu Wu-Tang vibes?
That would be ill.
That's what I'm wondering.
You imagine if on the low this was like executive produced by the RZA? That'd be crazy. Or Mathematic, or like one of the dope Wu-Tang. That's never going to happen. You know that. I can't even imagine what 2 Chainz would do on like a Liquid Sword type beat. Like,
hey, let's find out on Friday.
But I do want to hear this mixtape, man.
Yeah, I think when you are doing a quote-unquote like mixtape on Apple Music, you probably step it up more than something that just shows up on like Hot New Hip Hop at like 4 and some random afternoon,
Right.
Where you're either going to look and you're going to be surprised that it has all like big producers and a lot of features, or it's just going to be, even though it's a rapper, it's like you don't know these producers, it doesn't have any features, it's still, if you like that rapper, it'll be good.
Right.
But I bet this will have serious guests and like Mike Will Made It songs. And
I mean, that's what I loved about 2 Chainz to begin with. Like when he kind of resurfaced with the whole Codeine Cowboy series and the True series and stuff like that, we got records like Riot, we got records like Riding Around Getting It, like we got these songs that eventually turned into big records, but they were first mixtape records. So, and from doing my just from being a fan of 2 Chainz, I know that he takes his mixtapes very seriously in that they're mixed, they're mastered, they're well put together. Like he's not like, I'm putting out this straight vocals on a 2-track of an instrumental, somebody emailed me. Like, no, this is like for real. He's he goes in. So it's a quality thing.
He put out his first album in 2012. He put out the second one, the sequel, in 2013, and no album since then.
Right.
Yeah, kind of surprising, because he really capitalized and turned another one around really quick, and now since then, just mixtapes.
And not only that, his celebrity has grown so much since 2013.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 2 Chainz is now, I won't give him Snoop Dogg level, but he has used his brand to kind of jump to celebrity.
Yeah, huge celebrity. Yeah.
Huge celebrity. So, I mean, you're right. It's interesting that that's been able to happen with absence of music.
Yeah.
I mean, a feature here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he really, I felt, milked that Boats 2 album
for
a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he kind of, hats off to him, especially in the world of like the microwavable, disposable music, for him to actually, be able to sustain an album for this long is a testament to, his celebrity, man.
Yeah,
he's a smart dude.
I'm excited. This is definitely like a 2016 culmination for him because he put out a mixtape at the beginning of the year. It was very short. It didn't make a lot of waves, but it did have that song Motherfucking Right, which is on Collie Grove, which is so good. And then Collie Grove was good, and then he did all kinds of great features, and so now it's like this is the grand finale of whatever he's been doing this year.
Now, do you think Apple Music has like a not input, but like some kind of involvement in the music in terms of like you
make sure you diss Tidal?
No, not make sure you diss, although that would be great.
Right.
But like, we want it to be this long, or we want this level or this quality level. You know what I mean? 2 Chainz, we don't have to worry about that because he's going to deliver some dope stuff. But like, for it to be an Apple exclusive, what does that take?
Yeah.
What is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man.
We got to get some spies on the inside and find out how Apple's approach to hip hop is working.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna dig through my mental Rolodex to find if I know anyone over at Apple. I think I know some people at Beats One, but I don't know.
If you guys know any spies, tweet us.
Yeah, tweet us. That's right. All right, so speaking of keeping it in the Apple Music exclusive vein, Frank Ocean. And I heard on the radio yesterday on Hot 97, they were talking about Frank Ocean album and saying that, like, does anybody even really care? Like, I don't think Frank Ocean is all that great anyway. That first album really was. And I'm like, are you nuts? Am I on an island, or is
way to be contrary?
Channel? I mean, Channel Orange was amazing. Yeah. Nostalgia Ultra before that was amazing. This man won a Grammy for a reason. Like, I can't wait for this damn album to already be here already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I completely agree with you. Yeah.
Come on, how are people downplaying this? And it's pissing me off because now they announced today that it's supposed to be out on Friday.
Right.
But like,
Apple Music Friday. Man. I mean, somebody told the New York Times it was an anonymous Apple source, but usually when the New York Times says something like this about the business stuff, they've got it right.
They've got it right. Well,
so, yeah, no, I understand if people are too fatigued with the hype or with the broken promises, which is, it's not like he's been going around for 4 years saying my album is about to come
that's
out.
Very
he
true.
barely says anything.
True that.
So I think people have their own issues that go deal with it however you want. But I mean, yeah, I'm almost scared to listen to it. It's been so long, and I'm just so excited for it. I don't have any specific expectations of what it should sound like, but it's just one where I know processing it and enjoying it at the same time is going to be like, it's going to be a lot. But oh my God, I'm so excited. If you're listening to this on Thursday, starting the middle of today, I am pretty much completely offline through Sunday. So I'm driving to Maine for a wedding.
Back to your
hood. Yeah, so I'm going to be in the car with my wife, with one of my best friends who loves Frank Ocean so much too, and he's like a real musical idol for him, and it's just going to be amazing. I'm not going to have to look at anybody's fucking tweets while I listen to this thing.
No, that's true. That's true.
Which has been a long time since it was an album that I cared about of this magnitude and got to just experience it like a normal person.
Man. And I also feel like at a time where R&B was kind of moving toward either an EDM sound or very hip-hop, singy rap sound, Frank Ocean dropped and kind of reminded us what we loved and what has been missing from R&B. And not only that, but he also kind of showed that this traditional R&B format can be successful. Because a lot of artists' excuse was, that's not really what they're playing right now, or this is not really happening right now, and this is kind of where this is going, so I'm taking it there. But it's like he really separated himself from everyone else. I mean, down to like the PlayStation, sound that comes on at the top of the album, and it kind of dancing around between radio channels. Like, I loved everything about that album. I do remember a couple months ago there being talks about him being very nervous about the reception and the reaction to his second album. And I don't know if that's merited. I don't know if that was even real, but like I almost feel like he can do no wrong.
Yeah.
I really feel that way.
Well, think about when you're talking about nervousness. This is something I've been thinking about since not long after the first album, which is like his position in the culture as somebody who's either gay or bi.
Right.
The way people's eyes are on him for that.
Right.
And to see what direction, he takes his message. Right. It must be so much weight on his shoulders because he's not, at least back at the time of Channel Orange, he wasn't that interested in talking about it.
Right. He had Forrest Gump, the only record on there that was kind of about.
Yeah, Forrest Gump was pretty straightforward, and then a couple pronouns here and there, but like he put out the note on his Tumblr, which is like a statement, and then like I remember there was a big GQ interview at the end of the year, and he was just like, I don't focus on this. Like I don't even define myself that rigidly. I'm just not interested in it.
Right.
So I think people are way more interested in that because just because he's such a unique figure in that sense. So I think that he must feel a ton of pressure.
Yeah, I mean when you put it that way, I completely understand, and I also feel like that community, the LGBT community, they're very, very supportive, but they're also very aware of of the things that you're saying. Mm-hmm. And if you're speaking for them or if you're ignoring, you know what I mean? It's a very fine line. So I understand where he's coming from for it to be something that he really doesn't want to talk about. And let's be real, it's personal. Yeah. It's him. Yeah. You know what I mean? He didn't sign up to be a spokesman. Mm-hmm. He kind of is just, putting his heart out there, you know what I mean? Like through his music. So I know a lot of pressure can come from that side too, for people to be like, stand up for us, own us, like, like represent us. You know what I mean? Like, that can also be a lot of pressure. So, I mean, you nailed it. But, I mean, I'm excited. I can't freaking wait.
I am so mad at Apple Music for this, though. I'm just going to take Frank's responsibility away completely and just put it on Apple Music.
He had nothing to do
Why
with
did you kidnap Frank's album? But, because like I said, I'm going to Maine. I'm going to go to a place called Bull Moose Music, which is the record store. Bull Moose Music, That was my record store I grew up where I spent all my money from being a dishwasher on CDs. And just, all my money for my late teens on CDs there. And I love it. And I go and they have such great deals. It's such a lovely store. There's a few of them throughout Maine. They're doing great. Yeah. They sell books now too. They have a huge bookstore aspect. And they have all the used and new stuff shelved together. So you just see that little yellow sticker and okay, there's the used version of the DVD or the book or the movie I want to buy. But I'm not going to be able to buy Frank Ocean's album there on the day it comes out. Like, I want to go there on the Friday when this is the perfect storm and, like, grab it and support them and just be excited. But, nope.
That would have been the Nostalgia Ultra right there.
They better have it available on iTunes because otherwise I'm going to fucking steal it, burn it, bring it to Bull Moose Music, tell them to sell the burned copy. Right. So
just put it on a white label.
Yeah.
And don't tell nobody.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Man. All right, well, another album that has been announced this week, but it's not out. There's no release date and everything like that, but Nas has confirmed, or rather, it's been reported that Nas's next album is now complete.
Yeah. No, he said some great quote, like, all we're plotting is when we're dropping something. So,
boom.
Yeah.
So that got me, thinking about a lot of things. Like, I'm wondering... I feel like of that era of MC, you pretty much have Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Who's the only kind of not only relevant but like prevalent. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. MC from that time. Mm-hmm. Nas, while he physically hasn't aged much, because the dude still looks stupid young.
Yeah.
And I know he's old as dust.
Yeah.
He looks great.
He looks so young. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if his brand and his music has kind of stayed youthful. Do you feel like it will connect with the millennials of today the way a Jay-Z does?
Yeah, good question. He does have like the same sort of, when Jay-Z comes out and only does guest verses for a few years, and he has the same kind of subject matter that's hard for us to relate with at this point and a little repetitive. Nas has his version of that, and I really like his version of it.
Right.
I love his version of talking about like being at the top and talking about still being hungry, talking about navigating business. I mean, and I don't kids, like I don't know if this will only be Nas fans too. Right. I don't know if he gets the right features if people come in, but I just know that last album, Life Is Good, was great. I loved that album.
And it was a long album.
Yeah.
Too. It was a lot of music.
Yeah.
And I mean, Nas is one of my favorites of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I actually rank Nas higher than Jay-Z on my list, just my personal. And he's another artist that will come out every couple years.
Yeah.
Even back then, when people were dropping albums once a year, Nas wasn't that guy. He liked to breathe. He liked to let it live for a while, and he does a lot of living, and the living is reflected in his music. So I'm not surprised that it took this long for the follow-up to Life Is Good. But I just was scratching my head as like I can't wait to hear it. I know that I'm going to, shut down my life and, digest this album in its entirety a number of times, maybe back to back, like straight up.
Yeah.
No distractions, no disruptions. But I'm very curious to see how it'll resonate. And I also know, Nas, I don't know if he's the sole owner or partner in Mass Appeal, which is his label. Everyone says it's his label. And you got artists like Dave East and Fashawn and a couple of really recognizable millennial, fan favorites, if you will. But I don't know if that's going to kind of win over some fans who may have never heard of Nas. And Nas is not one of the more name-checked or, like, respect-paid, if you will, MCs. Everyone kind of names Jay-Z for their inspiration. You know what I mean? And rightly so. No one's done it as big as him in a public eye. But
Nas is like the alternate, the alternative one that people will say,
It's a polarizes like Nas or Jay-Z. And then the artists that have come up nowadays, the Kendrick Lamars, the Bishop Nehru, those types of artists, you can not only hear the Nas influence, but they will tell you, like, this is I love Nas. I was inspired by Nas. The Game is another one.
J. Cole, let down Nas.
Right, let Nas down. Yeah. So I mean, I'm hoping that kind of translates, and maybe who knows what to expect from this Nas album. But I can't wait to hear it. And from right now, it's not an Apple exclusive. Now, would it be a Tidal though exclusive? I don't know if they don't really have beef no more. If they really buried the hatchet, Nas and Jay, but I would love to see
whatever's the better business decision.
A Tidal exclusive.
Did you listen to Major Key or not? Because the second song, I think, either number 2 or 3, is Nas rapping over Fuji-La, like chipmunked out a little bit. It is awesome.
Listen, let me tell you something. Can I just?
You should go buy that one song.
Can I be honest? On the Back of the Class podcast,
you should.
I feel safe here.
You have to.
Listen. The last time I cried tears was the song Hip Hop, which was on Khaled's last album. That was Nas and Scarface.
All right.
Produced by the Justice League.
What was it that got you? It's
Nas and Scarface talking about hip hop as it was their lover. So it's not in the I used to love her vein so much, the Common record, but it's like, it kind of still is because it's the same kind of theme, but like just hearing them talk about hip hop and like what she was able to show them, and what she was able to do for them, and what the element that she took them out of. And like, I mean, you know, hip hop pulled me out of the same element. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a kid from West Philly. Like, when all hell was going on around me, my solitude, my sanctuary was my Walkman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, my love of hip hop got me in this career, and now I'm all on this path. You know, it brought you from Maine.
Yeah. I'm gonna go listen to it. Yeah. That sounds amazing.
Yo, I literally cried.
Yeah.
Like, not in boohoo, but like I shed a tear.
Right. Got you
from
all.
that. So I already know what to expect to hear a Nas rapping over food. Like, and that's why, you know, people kind of write off Khaled and say, oh, you know, he's a producer, but he's not really. Is he a DJ? I've never seen him spin. Like, he just gets a bunch of his friends on these hot records that are probably already hot. No. Khaled knows who to put on what record for it to go. That record, the majority of the people in this world never heard. That was the most important record to me that year it came out, because it hit me so heavy. Like, that's how we all feel who eat off of this culture. We all feel like she saved our lives. Like, hip hop is there. And then to see where it's gone is where some people are taking it, and you like, well, why you fucking with him? Like, he's a cornball. Like, but now you all, you know, blinged out and you're stripping. Like, those sentiments too. Like, we look at the culture sometime, and I'm like, damn, I wish this wasn't this trash. Or why is this so corny? Or, you know, whatever. But Khaled is, dude, I can't wait to hear this record now.
All right, good.
That.
Cool. I'll listen to hip-hop.
Check out that record.
Fuck, I don't know the name, but it's at the beginning of Major Key.
All right, track number 2, Major Key. All right, but let's go into the flex zone, and it's been kind of interesting, man. Hip hop has been running television as of late. When you think about like Empire, as corny as the hip hop is on that show, it being the juggernaut that it is. When you think of Power, and
Fresh Off the Boat too.
Fresh Off the Boat
hip hop vibe.
Definitely Blackish is another one that has a lot of hip hop references and whatnot. But like, so now networks are starting to realize how important or what a big juggernaut, you know, hip hop is. And TBS just greenlit a series called Think Big, and I'll read a little piece of it. The series Think Big will chronicle the misadventures of an inner city teen desperately trying to create a better future for his daughter and infant son. The project is being produced and created by Mass Appeal, which Nas is involved in partnership with Wayne Barrow, By Storm Films, and Valletta Wallace of the Notorious B.I.G. Inc. Now, you know, if you're a Biggie fan and you remember Juicy, the beginning, when he was saying, like, you know, the neighbors calling the police on me when I'm just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. Like, this Think Big is taking Biggie lyrics, turning them into full episodes around it. And I think I believe it's an animated
Oh, is it?
I believe it's animated.
Oh, it's a comedy too, they're saying. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And Biggie was one of the funniest, but one of the witty and most lyrical. But like, just even pulling that line where it says, you know, trying to provide a better future for his daughter and his son, that's directly from Juicy, the first record that we heard, you know, of a Biggie solo record. So like, I'm excited to see how that kind of translates. And I almost wish I had like a point of reference to be like, I don't remember in television when something like this was done, where it was
I mean, he's a teen dad with a daughter that older than an infant,
right?
Because the son is an infant,
right?
So that's not something there's not a show that's
and it's TBS,
setup. Yeah.
So I'm really, I mean, you know, that's kind of exciting, and I do remember, and Juan will appreciate this, the Luke Cage series, every episode is named after a Gangstar song, which I think is super genius. But
and they used ODB in the trailer. I think I heard.
Dirty, yes. is in the trailer, and they didn't cut any of it off. Like, that was a straight raw, uncut ODB record. Like, they didn't fluff it up and cut out certain parts. Like, it was real. I mean, and then we'll kind of get we'll just mention this, but Iggy Azalea just inked the deal. If you can see my face, if you could just ink the deal for television as well. She's going to start producing millennial focused programming, scripted and unscripted shows about everything from like social injustice to women empowerment and stuff like that.
It's always, I never know what to think when I hear that development deal thing, because it's like there's no network, there's no property they're talking about. There's like, this person's gonna make some stuff with a production company. It's like, oh, great. That
could go somewhere, could never see the light of day.
Yeah, I hope you make some money off that. We don't know. We may never see any impact that you had on it, but
I don't know. But I mean, hip hop is alive and well. And it's 30 some years old, maybe even older now, probably 40 years old at this point. But to see it still continue to grow, you know what I mean, I think is dope. Is there anything hip hop wise, like a favorite song or something that you would love to see turned into some like content, like a short form? Like, I don't know if you know, but Biggie's I Got a Story to Tell. Some fan or director, I don't want to call him fan, but I'm sure he's a fan, but director kind of recreated the scene where he's talking about going to visit this girl, and they're having sex or whatever, and then her husband comes home, and he has to make it look like he was robbing them to get out so that she doesn't get busted, he doesn't get busted or whatever. And turns out that story was about Anthony Mason. It was a real life story that he told. They reenacted it.
Okay.
Like, is there any like
something that just seems like cinematic?
Yeah, man. What would you like to see?
I'd like to see what happened with Lil Wayne getting shot as a kid. That would make for some
like a real real life.
Yeah. Because last summer he put out the Free Weezy album, and he rapped about that a little bit and kind of got it back in my head. And he's like, this one woman like saved my life. If the bullet had been an inch to the left, there would be no Weezy. And that felt like very cinematic and like could be something interesting. I don't know. Is your mind on something, or do you have something?
I mean, I'm just reminiscing on some of my favorite like Ghostface, Impossible. Ghostface Impossible. I think it was on the the Wu-Tang Forever album, disc number 2. Impossible. Like, call an ambulance, that have been shot. Like, he told this story so well that you can see, like, oh, he's not breathing, don't start. Like, he was kind of like, you was in that moment with him. And then there's some Nas stories. Like, I would love to see Rewind, a Nas record on Stillmatic, where he raps the entire record backwards.
What?
The story, he starts the story at the end.
Yeah.
And then he raps backwards to the beginning of the story. Like, this is why Nas is so brilliant.
Oh, wow.
I would love to see that filmed, shot forward, but played in reverse.
Yeah.
Like, where's the music video to Rewind? Like, that would have been brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's another one it's another Nas, I Gave You Power, which is about Nas, his life as a gun. He takes on the life of a gun. Mm-hmm. And he tells this whole story about like revenge, and this guy picked him up, and like he doesn't take care of him. His chamber's rusty, whatever. Goes through this whole plot of this guy wanting to kill this guy, and because he didn't take care of him, Nas jammed, the gun jammed, and then the guy winds up getting shot, and he dies, but the gun falls on the ground. He's like, and now I finally feel like I'm free, and then I feel somebody else grab me.
Wow.
And so now the story continues. The record's over, but now someone else picked up the gun, and now it's running off. So it's
oh my God. Wait, what's that one called?
I Gave You Power. That's on not Illmatic. It's on It Was Written.
Okay.
it was written record. Damn. But yeah, there's so many just good stories in hip hop that like.
There's one that is happening that I'm excited to see, which is I've talked about the guys from the group Das Racists in here a couple times.
Right,
and one of them, he goes by Heems. His name is Himanshu, and his parents are from India. He's a first generation Indian American kid in Queens, and he has a development deal to tell his story about growing up there, growing up on hip hop,
right.
Being an Indian American kid out in Queens, obsessed with hip hop. And then becoming, a rapper, but still, even after he had some success, he like went back and was living at home. He was helping out his family. He has like a young niece who he's like uncling all the time. So that's gonna be a cool story.
No, that's ill.
Yeah,
I love to hear those types of stories as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I oftentimes argue, and I oftentimes start the argument. But like when people say like hip hop is black music, and I'm like, do you not know who Rick Rubin is? Do you not know who the Beastie Boys are? Like, these are some of the most important figures in hip hop because it opened it up to way bigger an audience than the people who were able to attend those parties. So like I feel like there's so many people whose lives are impacted by hip hop.
Yeah,
I mean, like the reason that I love hip hop so much is because my father and my uncle, both Puerto Rican, first generation, like here in America, they were hip hop heads, and I got all of my hip hop exposure from my Puerto Rican father and my Puerto Rican uncle.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and even that, there's a huge Latino contribution to hip hop as well. So like, there's so many people, there's so many ethnicities involved, and then that are impacted. Like, it's our music, I really feel like. You know what I'm saying? So I love to hear stories like Fresh Off the Boat, where, he's so hip-hop out of his mind.
Yeah,
like,
it's great to see, a story where it can be told about cultures that are actually involved in hip-hop, not where it's just like a gag.
Right.
Where it's like, the white guy's rapping or something.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate when it's like, oh, yo, son, and you see the white guy with the cornrows, and he looks like he's wearing like a FUBU, like, it's like that's not even how we ever rolled, to be quite honest. Like, for you to take it to that extreme, like, you know what I'm saying?
So tell some real stories about hip hop that actually matters to people and what it looked like to grow up loving hip hop,
and make it more universally like appreciated. Like, I feel like Fresh Off the Boat is one of those shows that, like, opens your eyes to what hip hop is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be ghetto. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to be black. Like, you can be from anywhere on the planet and have, been impacted by hip hop, and you are a part of the hip hop culture. I feel like Eddie Wong is more hip hop than he is Asian. Yeah. Honestly, like, I feel like that dude is more. The first thing I see or feel about him is how much he loves hip hop, more than I even. Oh yeah, and you're Asian, but like that's almost second when you think about, like, when I see the things that he went through growing up watching the show. I'm like, yo, I went through the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's dope. I'm happy to see that hip hop is getting a lot more. Not a lot more attention. It's getting a lot more opportunity on television. I mean, at Fuse, we've been waving the hip hop flag forever.
Yeah. Thanks for following our lead, everybody.
Yes,
exactly. You did good.
Exactly. So I'm glad that the love is being spread.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. So let's close out like we always like to do. What are you listening to this weekend?
Francis Ocean.
Francis?
Yeah, no, I'm going to be listening to Frank Ocean, definitely.
Is that his name, Francis, you think?
Nah, his name was Lonnie Bro.
That's so disappointing.
Bro, like French, B-R-E-A.
Oh, okay.
He changed it to Frank Ocean, though, but that's neither here nor there. Be listening to that, and then also Chicago rapper. Her name's No Name. It was formerly No Name Gypsy. She was on Acid Rap. Amazing, and she just put out her first project. It's called Telephone with a F.
Nice.
Telephone.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic. And she's actually got me into now all these like more minor Chance the Rapper affiliate characters like Saba, Smino, just all these folks. Like I just made this huge playlist of all the young, Chicago and like Midwestern MCs, and I'm loving it.
I just met Saba this weekend.
Yeah.
At Lollapalooza. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my homie Rory.
Rory too.
Managing. No.
Well, okay. Well, the Rory the artist is Rory a part of this pack too.
But yeah, my homie Rory is co-managing Saba, so that's dope. Now, I have to ask this because only Zach does this. Uh-oh. So you're going to listen to the Frank Ocean album. Mm-hmm. Are you envisioning making your own version? You know how you like to rearrange
not for
stuff?
him. Not for him.
Not for Frank.
No.
You're not even mixing like some older records in between, like a new Frank playlist with old and new.
I like to see how, I've said that before. I like to see how the music interacts with the old music and see the bigger picture. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be in my car where I haven't had the aux cord situation for a while. I only had a CD player. When the CD ends, the CD starts over. Right. That's gonna be happening. Yeah. Word. And Frank is such good driving music too. I mean,
no, it is.
I mean, listening to music in the car is like, headphones, the car, and a concert are like those are the ways to listen to music. So
that's dope.
Right in the car, yeah. Windows down.
Dude, that's a Tidal commercial right there. Headphones, a car, and a concert.
Boom.
All right, we gotta stop giving away this gold, man. All right, well, speaking of Tidal, I was checking out what was coming out and what's out right now, and there's a lot of dope music. I gotta hear the Gucci Mane album this weekend. I have to be playing that all weekend long. Lil Yachty's album is out. The Game just released the album that goes with his video game.
Yeah.
So I want to hear the music that's on that. Like, so much music, man. So I'm gonna be. This is my first weekend off because last weekend I was at Lollapalooza. So this weekend we'll be doing a lot of driving back and forth between Philly and New York for some stuff that I have to do. So I'll have some time in the car to listen.
What's a lot? How many trips?
Oh man,
you have to go multiple times.
Yeah, like 2 or 3.
Damn.
Yeah, I have a birthday party in New York and a recording session in Philly, and then I go back. And yeah, it's back and forth, man.
All right, drive safe.
But it's fun. I don't mind it because, like you said,
you got all this music. Yeah,
I got music to listen.
All right. Well, we'll have a lot to talk about next week too. I think I got the feeling.
Yeah. And like next week, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, for OCD Moosh and Twist to come through, and I want to interview them about their new album that also comes out this weekend. So
wow,
I'm excited to talk to them. I've been a fan of theirs for a long time, so I'm working on getting them in the building so we can talk about that. But
happy August, everybody. Enjoy this last month of summer. Enjoy hip-hop in summer for one more month.
You dang right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Enjoy your life.
Adios.